Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm so excited you're here today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. Okay, I have one of my favorite people ever as a guest today, and y'all are going to love this episode. If you follow me at all, you're going to know this person. I have shared so many beautiful things in my home that he has created. And many of my friends absolutely love his art as much as I do. I have Porter Rivers of Porter Rivers Art with me today. Porter, thank you for jumping on today to share with my audience.
Well, thank you, Jamie. I'm excited to be here.
Well, y'all, Porter is simply the best. He and Emily are in our small group, and they're like our children. So anyway, they're like family. And Porter has, I think, so many things that he can share that I think y'all will find intriguing, and also that will shed light on what's behind his art, the passion behind all of his pieces. And for my YouTube people, I'm quickly going to hold up some of the pieces that I have, but in respect for my podcast people, I'm not going to hold it up too long. We will have images on the show notes. We'll have deadline dates on the show notes, but you can also find everything that we're going to talk about on Porter's website, which will be linked as well. So, Porter, before we dive in to the podcast, tell us what you would choose as your last meal.
My last meal, it's a tough one. I think my favorite meal I've ever had is probably what I'd like to relive. In Italy, there's a restaurant called Il Porticello. And
Oh,
had it had a very traditional Italian meal, but lasagna with homemade garlic bread. The view also helped, so that'd be my last meal.
oh my goodness. Well, I guess you have to go back to Italy to get that because.
Yeah, I would recommend it though. So
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's where Zane is wanting to go. That's on our list. So, oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, Porter, I first of all tell everyone, what do you do? Like your job. You're an artist, but you do have a main job. So what is that?
yep. So I'm a financial analyst for a healthcare real estate investment trust here in Birmingham. I've been with them for going on 6 years now.
Great. And you and Emily graduated from Stanford University.
Correct.
And y'all are just the cutest couple, and you're both so talented. Emily is a certified interior designer,
Correct.
and y'all are just talent overload, and you're just the best couple ever. Just so good and kind, and both of you are just wonderful. So I want to dive in because art, I love art, and your art is very unique, and it comes from your childhood. There are just so many elements that I would like for you to share with people. But first of all, tell us where you grew up and tell us about the city you grew up in.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Selma, Alabama. So it's not about an hour and a half from Birmingham, but grew up there. It's kind of a rural town with a very, small hometown feel, which was very significant to me growing up. The family and the community that you have around you. Love being close in Birmingham and Selma at the same time.
And what was it like? I grew up in a small town, and my memories were I just had freedom. I stayed out till the streetlights came on. You know, parents weren't really worried about where the kids were because everybody was safe. What was your childhood in Selma like?
No, it was great, and kind of a similar thing to you. I mean, I grew up. I don't ever remember our doors being locked. I grew up in a small neighborhood where my grandmother lived as well. It was, bike ride back and forth, and yeah, freedom is definitely a word to describe growing up there, as well as having close friends and having the you have a lot of farmland around. So my best friend growing up, we always used to go out to his farm and his cabin and fish and, ride the golf carts and just enjoy being outside.
And your parents still live there?
They still live there. Yep. Yeah, they've been there. My mom grew up in Selma and has stayed there the whole time. So I don't see him leaving anytime soon.
Yes. Well, and just a side note for those who may have heard about the horrible tornado that hit Selma, Porter, tell about what happened to your family's house.
Yeah, they tornado went really right over the entire center of their street, and they were very fortunate. They, obviously there was damage to the roof and windows, but no trees fell in the house, and everybody was safe. And that's the miracle and the blessing that's in it, that there were no fatalities. So that's what we're thankful for.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, as a child, little Porter, when did people in your family recognize, oh my goodness, he's got some talent that is not just everyday run of the mill?
So I mean, as far as I can remember, and as long as I can remember, I've always loved to draw. There's pictures of me when I'm little, sitting on our like porch with our cat, and I'm probably 4 or 5. So as long as I can remember, I've always loved to draw and to create and to have that outlet. Um, and really, did that and enjoyed it, and never really took a lot of art classes. And we had art through school, but had never done like a full study into a subject until college. So going into college, I thought I wanted to go into architecture, and that had a lot of inspiration from Selma and its historic homes and buildings
Mhm.
that are very beautiful. I think that was kind of a big draw to what led me down that path. And I took an art class at Sanford, and after that art class, realized I didn't want to stay in the architecture program, um, but did have a lot of good things that came out of the art class. One, the most important thing, I met Emily, which was very fun. That's how we met, uh,
Mhm.
and you know that was the number one thing. But then second, really realized that I enjoyed doing it. Enjoy doing art and creating and finding a way to continue that outlet past just as a child. So after that, one of the projects in the class, we created a relief sculpture, which is just like layered wood, and it was after a place in Selma called Sturtevant Hall. And I did that draw or the relief sculpture, and the teacher was like, "You should show it to them." So I took it there, and they were like, "Could you recreate this?" And we kind of went back and forth and did a few. And then I think the lady who's running the gift shop there said, "Well, have you ever painted anything? We people love our historic churches." And that kind of is where it all started. I said, "No, I really haven't, but I'm happy to try, and I would like to try." There was a lady that lived down the street from me growing up, which again leads to this whole community. She just was an older lady that lived. She was one of my grandmother's good friends, and she just told her, "Hey, bring Porter down here and tell him to just paint with me for a little while." And that's really when I started painting. And I guess did a few paintings for family members, and they liked it, and they were impressed, I guess, and wanted me to do more. And so then I did a couple of things through the museum that ended up selling the paintings and the relief sculpture, um, and then kind of got plugged in with people's homes, and that's how it all really started. There really wasn't a point where I just, I think if you set your mind to something, you can figure out how to do it, and that's how I feel about it.
Oh my god, okay, and that sweet lady that you knew that was friends
Mhm.
with your grandmother, that was the first time you ever were technically in a studio creating is
Study like a full study. I had a great art teacher at my elementary school that went through, and we would do projects, but that was in a more of a group setting. This lady, had been an art teacher previously, but she just kind of took me under her wing and was like, "Let me just," she gave me a palette, and I still use the same palette that she gave me when I first started. So have a lot to thank her for.
I love that. That is wonderful. That's so special. Okay, so what are your favorite mediums? I know there are different kinds. So what's your favorite and tell us how they differ in your work? Yeah.
watercolor. Yeah,
Do you do any oil at all?
I have done oil, and I like to do it. It takes a little bit more time. It's more of a time, to sit down and let it dry, come back to it
Yeah.
later, which I do like to do, but it just is, it kind of feels like different. It's almost like different forms of exercise. You're running, you're walking, it's just all a little bit different, all has the same kind of outlet and effect on you, but what
Mm,
you're feeling up to.
right. Well, and oh my goodness, the piece in my dining room is so special. Porter, is it 50 by 50 or 40? What is it?
I
It's
think it's 48 by 48, maybe
48 by
50
48.
by 50.
Oh my goodness, y'all. It's beautiful. It's so special. And Porter worked with me. I just described what was in my mind and you worked with me. I love it, love it, love it. I had it put in a floater frame, but your canvases look great without frames. They're just so beautiful. And of course, that leads me to that's commission work. So you do commission work. And those who are watching and listening, I think that's one of the things that they're going to be very, very interested in. Guys, Porter, in addition to the landscapes that he does for commission, what's so unique, Porter can do anything like your home. If you have a home or a hunting camp or anything that's special or a pet, guys, I'm going to quickly hold this up. This is one of the most special things to me. This is my precious Cam that passed away, and our small group gave Porter a picture that looks just like this, and Porter did this watercolor, and it's so special. So you do a lot of pets, lost pets, and even pets that are fine.
People will kind of reach out on a different, I mean, I think it's always, you want to memorialize them after, and so they'll reach out after they pass. But I do have a lot of people reach out too that want, each of their pets that are currently with them. And the one recent client wanted to hang them above their nursery or the crib in their nursery. So
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so Porter, for pets, for homes, any of those things, doesn't matter where anyone lives, they can send you a photo
yeah,
and then you can go back and forth and you can create that. And I know the pricing can vary depending upon what things come into play that determine how you price commissions.
so most of I kind of got them set up now where, home commissions are on, kind of like they're all are standard for the most part, unless there's sometimes there'll be two homes in a painting, that may be a little bit different. But typically I've got, one home, 5 by 7, 8 by 10, 11 by 14, and so on. But all then in pet portraits are the same way. If it vary if there's two pets in the portrait or if it's one, or, a person and a pet, or just
Right.
really depends. But there's standard pricing as per pet, and per subject.
Another thing that I want to bring up that people who are, well, you may travel a certain distance for this, but you did this for us and it was so special. And you're doing a lot of these now, live paintings, and you did Judd's wedding. You did a live painting at Bobby's birthday.
Mhm.
Tell everyone about a live, basically what is a live painting and
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, and originally I think I started out calling it a live wedding painting, and then it kind of morphed into just a live event painting because you never know, what you would want. But it's really an opportunity to just commemorate an experience, and commemorate, time, where you have a birthday party or a wedding, or debutante. There's a wide variety of reasons, and honestly, that's one of the things I love about all of art is just getting to interact with the client and interact with people. So live event painting is very much an interactive thing. So it's I get there about 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes before, the actual guests would arrive, and I'll paint out a background or get the layout, just set up. And that way, when people start coming in, you can add it in. It's fun because they can see where they are and point out where they are, or
Mm-hmm.
ask where they're going to be, or what you have it. So, I think it's a great way to get a lot of personality,
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Well, and live painting is a great idea for someone who wants to give a really special gift to someone, whether it's the couple at a wedding or the birthday girl or guy. to have a live painting and say, "Hey, your gift is a live painting, so somebody's gonna be showing up to do that." That is a gift that if you are like that person who wants to give a once in a lifetime gift, a live painting definitely fits that bill. How far I mean, I guess you would take it on a case by case basis, but you would travel depending upon where it is to do a live event.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not don't have any restrictions or haven't gotten anything yet that's been, unreasonable. It just depends on availability, really. And some people are booking them a year out. Some people are working 6 months out. It just kind of depends on when is available and what our schedule ends up being ultimately. But yeah, there's no exactly restriction on how far we'd go. So
Y'all
it's
love to travel.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So and again, it's interacting and getting to meet people and talk with them, and I think it's a fun thing. We would looking back, we wish that we had a live event painter. We reached out to somebody and they were booked, and so I told Emily I'd try it based on our wedding just from photos, and we happy I did it because that's honestly how I got started doing it. Was I did it on ours, and it was like, oh, okay, try this and do this under a little more pressure with people. Uh,
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
you, in retrospect, did a live painting of
And
your
I've had a few people reach out for the same thing, or reach out for their children's weddings that have already happened, and just send photos, and so you can kind of see what the layout is, and the guests that are there.
wow. Okay. And another thing for everyone listening that you did, and you did this for our wedding, you do this for many, many weddings. And it's so special because it means that your invitation or your save the date will be unlike any other. You will do a sketch of like my daughter got married at Reed Chapel. So you did a beautiful watercolor of Reed Chapel, and that was in our save the date. Um, and then I've seen that you've done a wedding venue before in watercolor where it shows all the different places the bridal party, the wedding party will go, and this historic. I mean, wow.
Wedding maps are very fun too, because that get lets you put in some personality too when you're at the maps. A lot of times people put them in their welcome bags, or like you said, they'll just kind of have it in different places, and I think it is a fun way to add in some personality. You can add in pets, and the bride and groom's car, or the bride's home, or groom's home, wherever it is.
Okay, now, because it's close to the holidays, I'm going to hold up very quickly, but guys, if you want exquisitely beautiful and special ornaments, now I'm going to hold up really quickly. I have I keep it up year round. This is in my parlor. This is the Nativity. And what size is this, Porter?
They're about a 16 by 16, and I've
And
got the wise men here too. So
oh, guys, gorgeous, gorgeous gold leaf, touches of gold leaf, the wise men, and
and
the
painted watercolor with gold leaf detailing, and then the here too, matte and framed.
okay, and then mine has the star, and it's the nativity, it's mother and child, Joseph, Mary, and the baby. Gorgeous. These ornaments, Porter, is this correct? This is acrylic, and you've got gold leaf around it, silk ribbon.
Correct, and then again the hand painted watercolor. Each one's a little bit different, which I think is fun and adds to the collection.
Okay, I love these stockings, and I want to show y'all. You're now doing. Is this silver leaf?
It's silver leaf, yes.
Silver leaf. It's gorgeous, and this is a nutcracker. And you even put silver leaf like on his hat, on his little shoulder pads. Beautiful. And this is your signature silk ribbon, right?
Yes, yes.
This is the prettiest color green. What color is this?
Like a sage green almost.
So beautiful. Porter, I know people are going to ask to get Christmas ornaments. I mean, they can get them right now. What is the cutoff for them to receive Christmas ornaments by Christmas?
Just to guarantee by Christmas, I would say ordering by December 15th to know for sure it's going to be to you in time.
Okay.
But we'll continue to accept orders all the way, through the new year, and then that's when we'll officially close it out. So
Okay. Okay. Now, what if someone is wanting to do a commission? What is the deadline for that? That's another
the deadline right now is December 3rd. And yeah, if you have something, I would love for you to reach out and just get on the schedule so we can build you into it and make sure that we've got you. But December 3rd is our cutoff on custom commissions right now.
Okay. Porter, you have a special code that you will give customers a discount. So what is that? With the code Savvy, what do they get?
They get 15% off an order. So whether that be the Christmas ornaments or a custom painting, that
That's so nice. Porter, thank you. And guys, you have to, I mean, Porter's work, if you haven't already seen it, it's exquisite. It's so special and beautiful, and there's none like it out there at all. And anyway, well, Porter, is there anything that I haven't thought to ask, or any other type of art that you've created for people that maybe people haven't thought of that you want to leave us with? Because you've got so many ideas that I've not heard of all of them. Anything? I know you've actually done hunting lures or fishing lures. So
yeah, I kind of I do a lot of wildlife and field and stream, so that is another category that I think I often kind of get roped into. But do a lot of landscapes, obviously, of out in the rolling hills, and again, that's where I get a lot of my inspiration in my childhood, we talked about earlier. But that outdoors hunting and scene. So again, grew up fly fishing, so love to do the details of a fly fishing lure. And then fish, trout. Those are all in the categories that I like to do. So that, and honestly, I think the big thing I like to just tell people is one of my favorite parts about this is working with and getting to meet new people, new customers, and new clients, and build that relationship. Because ultimately, what I really kind of set out when I first started was I wanted to preserve memories in watercolor, now just in art in general, but preserve the memories, whether that be a home painting, a wedding crest, a live event painting, or even Christmas ornaments. There's sentimental value to everybody, and I like to be able to try to communicate that through my work.
Well, Porter, you do a fabulous job of it, and I'm so happy that I got to share your
Well,
story.
thank you, Jamie. We love following along and knowing y'all, so we're thankful for our friendship and y'all in our life.
Well, awesome. Well, to everyone watching and listening, do check the show notes out. All the information will be there, and I'm very grateful for all of you, and Porter, grateful for you. And until next time, everyone, have a fabulous rest of your day. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the SavvyCast. If you'll take the time to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, that would mean so much. As always, thank you for listening, and have a blessed day.